excited to finally be talking about real intelligence. And I want to say this because I'm looking to align with people who are really intelligent. And you know who? A lot of people, they might look down, but I say that's one thing I like about nurses in charge, your intelligence has nothing to do with your intellect. So somebody might not read well, and they because they might be dyslexic, or they might send you something and they have a lot of spelling errors, or a lot of, the spelling is not up to par, or the statement didn't come out so eloquently, like, usually in a professional level what you like to see. But that has nothing to do with the intelligence of a person, right? And I just believe that this time period that we're in, intelligence is what's going to add value to this world. Intelligence, not intellect. Intellect might make you sound good and look good for a certain while, but when people have real problems, which I tell you, some ancestors of us, by the decisions whoever made, the generations before us, the decisions they made, they kind of cook up a lot of trouble for our generation. And so moving forward, every solution is going to need to be a holistic solution. And that's where I come in, because as a professional networker, I'm not just watching everything, but I'm also networking with people in areas and places that other people would never even think to go. Right. So I'm really excited. This makes me really excited. And I just want you to open your mind, and you're probably like watching like this and like, yes, yes, this is the truth. And if you're watching me like you're kind of crazy, um I just say stick around for the ride, stick around for the ride, because we're about to be in a different season. And I really highly say collaboration is the key, but also collaborating with the right, not just people, but energies. Today I learned something so fascinating, which was what is the difference between frequency and vibration? Because you want everybody high vibes, yeah, but you also want high frequency. And what I realize is sometimes when people are very intellectual, they train themselves to have high vibration because they know which vibration is like on your day to day. That's more with your personality, right? So you'll see them, they'll come out and externally they're like, "Wah!" And they're all the noise and all the energy and everything, right? They train themselves to have high vibes, but the frequency is actually really low, because when you come out from their presence, you feel bad. You feel bad, you feel depleted, you feel less than, right? And then there are some people, depending on what's going on in their life, they might have a low vibe. Catch me on the wrong day, I will have a low vibration. Catch me on the wrong day, my vibes might be low. But the frequency is always high. Their frequency is always high. And the people were saying, the frequency, just like a tuning fork, is a longer projection of your vibration. But this is what I will say. The frequency, and this is just Casey's definition, but I think your frequency is based on your spirituality. I believe your frequency is based on your heart vibration. So, a Bible verse came to my mind is when Jesus say, it's not what a man puts in the body, but out of the heart, right? The abundance of the mouth speaks. It's what comes from your heart. Everything in you comes from your heart, right? I believe your frequency comes from your heart, and you cannot fake it. If your heart ain't right, your frequency will never be right. You could raise all the vibes in the world. You could be all, yeah, a big energy, everything. But if you're not working on the deep qualities of your heart, if you're not, and I would say, some people say, well, that's how I think, or that's how I am, or that's how my family is. But when I was a little girl, I remember I used to work and work and work, and I used to say, I might not be pretty, but I sure gonna be a nice person. And I would be working on my heart, working on that heart, working on that heart. What I used to do when I had a bad thought about somebody, I would force myself to write nice things about them. I would force myself to see all the good things in them, and I would write it down. I made it an exercise. Growing up, I never got called on, and oh Lord, that was a thing, and I felt so bad and everything. But I would always do my exercise and force myself to write loving things about people that I did not think lovingly about. And I felt like that was training for my heart. I always prayed for a pure heart, but I always write down when I had any, and after a while, it just became automatic where if I would think something bad about a person, I automatically would be able to see the good in them. Not trying to see the good, I would see the good. And then I put it to a different level where then I could appreciate who they were and what they were, even in negative, what it was doing to me and how I was growing and how I was becoming a better person. And I would pay homage to that, and I would have so much gratitude for that lesson and for that hardship. And I talked the other day about having to make relationship with my father, who I haven't seen, but it wasn't difficult. It was just difficult because of my ego, because I think he should be the one to reach out to me, not the opposite. But that's the only reason why it was difficult. Because over the years, I just made sure my heart was doing the right thing and feeling the right thing about people, even though when my head didn't want to feel like that. And it takes a level of humility to do it, but it's an exercise that I think raises your frequency. That when people who have the right frequency, when they're in your presence, they know you. You have people come up to you and they just want to be around you and they just love you because on a subconscious level, right? On an energetical level, they could feel that frequency, right? And even when your vibrations is not right, they will always still feel your frequency. So I know I started off talking about intelligence, but I think having a high frequency is part of intelligence, because having a high frequency is linked to your heart, right? And only an intelligent heart wants to solve problems, wants to solve other people's problems. And it can kind of be the bingo, the hit word, like, oh, solve people's problems and you get paid a lot of money. But reality, I believe that there is a lot of good people in this world. And I believe that there's a lot of people who want to use their talents, gifts, and abilities to solve problems and to raise themselves to a different economic level. And if everybody wants to do it, well, hey, better for them, right? So, as a holistic nurse, I would say pay attention to intelligence, but more so the intelligence that springs from your heart. Pay attention to the person that you really are on the inside, and the frequencies that you hold on your inside, and make sure that it aligns, because if your heart is not pure, it's only time when that will be made manifest. But especially when you're living in a period of time right now where everybody is like trying to sense who is authentic, and who's real. You could only do that. They call it quantum physics, right? You could only do that by paying attention to energy, frequency, and vibration. So sometimes you could say things the best way, you could show whatever you want to show, but the energy don't lie, your stuff stink, and people just not gonna want to be around you. They're gonna just distance themselves, and you don't know why. And you're gonna start seeing people distancing themselves from certain groups. It doesn't have to even be like certain religious groups, but just certain people you used to hang out with before. You just don't feel like hanging out with them. And that's because the energy, right? And I think this is the higher consciousness that we are coming into. And that's why I say, um, as nurses, we're going to transform from being nursing, meaning, just um, pacifying whatever is current. Like, I think about nursing is like you're giving the baby food, to being a comforter, which is when your child is older and they no longer need nutrients from your body, comfort, comfort. Um, in terms of eating food, they still need comfort, comfort in terms of that safe space and that reassurance and that, you know, hey, you've got it, you can do this. This is a safe space for you to grow. This is a safe space to feel safe, to feel okay within your body. So I believe, I am pioneering this new way of nursing, which is called comforting. And I choose the terms holistic because it's a whole person, whole body, whole mindset, whole approach. And for some people, it's overwhelming just because they're just used to, saying this is what you do, and they can't fully just grasp, all these things happening or could be done for a person, but it actually needs to be done for healing and for wholeness. So these are just some of my thoughts. Let me know what you think. What are your thoughts on someone who is intelligent versus intellectual? What do you think? Do you think it matters? Do you think that um, what do you think someone's frequency is versus their vibration? And how have you raised your vibration and raised your frequency? Come on, share. I want to know. So let me know how you raise your frequency and your vibration. And tell me, what's your heart? How have you influenced your heart where it works for you and it helps you elevate and vibrate and have a high frequency in this world? Please share with me. Well, this is Friday afternoon recording for you. Thank you for tuning in. If you like the conversation, I welcome you to subscribe, to follow, to connect. I'm looking for good collaboration, right? Authentic collaboration. And I really look forward to hearing your comments and responding and growing this community. Okay? Thank you for joining, and I'll see you next time.